Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to the shop. My name is Jamie, and today we're going to be picking up on the Brown and Sharpe surface grinder preservation, and we're going to start examining some of the parts that we took off and checking them for wear, cleaning them up, making repairs as we can and as we need to, and then getting them back into the machine. So today we're going to take a look at the clutch shaft bracket. This is a pretty complex set of gears and mechanisms that is designed to run the machine automatically. This is an automatic surface grinder, again, over 100 years old, so this technology is definitely old. In my machine, I know that this does not work, primarily because it does not have the secondary belt that drives this. But I do want to check it out, fix what we can, and put it back together with the hopes of getting a belt and seeing if that we can get it to work automated. I have a feeling though that this will end up, being a manual machine, but I'd like to learn as we go through the process. So what we're going to do here, I've cleaned this up generally to get rid of the most of the gunk. There's a lot of press pins in here, and generally looks like it might be hard to take apart. So I don't want to open up Pandora's box. If I can look and see that it's okay the way it is, I think we'll work on cleaning it up, making sure that lubrication can get pushed down through it, and then putting it back into the machine. This machine will not cut to tenths. If it cut to thousandths, I will be surprised. It's an older machine. It's definitely worn. And at this point in the restoration, I want to go through it, like I said, clean as much as I can, repair some obvious problems, get it running again so that I can actually see how it works, and then make the decision, if I want to, try to make it a better machine, maybe tear it down again with a finer eye on tolerances. But I just have a sense that this machine might be past its useful life from an absolute tolerance standpoint. So let's take a look at this setup a little bit closer. All right, taking a look at this, what they call the clutch shaft bracket. And what I have done, I've done a rough cleaning on it just to get the grime total, this thing was kind of caked on with oil and grit. And I have been able to get fluid through all of these drip holes where oil will get dropped down, except for this one. This one has been very stubborn. Where I've sprayed WD-40 in here, let it sit overnight, and after a week, it does seem like it's been able to work its way through, but I haven't had great luck. So today I actually thought of a new idea, which is to try to blast some air through it. So let's see if we can get a good seal on this and see if it, oh yeah, so that's working. So that's pushing some. That's definitely pushing through. Let's see how the WD-40 leaks out of it now. See, it's still kind of just sitting in there where I would expect it to leak out or leak down. All right, let's do that a couple more times and just see how that works. Yeah, so I can definitely feel now there's a good amount of air going through there. There's some play. There's some play here for sure. There does look to be another bearing here on the inside, and I can generally see some grit grime here on this shaft. And I've cleaned this more than once as I've blasted WD-40 through there. So this is a great example of where I'm not sure how deep I want to go in this process. I have, a surface here. Let's see, this part is 709. 709 is the feed shaft bearing. So this unit here has two holes in it that will bolt to the frame. So this is actually holding, well, it's a bearing as the name implies. So this will hold the back part of it. And so I need to decide whether or not I want to work on, getting rid of that play or not. And as I mentioned on the intro, I'm not sure if this part of the machine will actually be up and running. So why don't we start with seeing what it would take to pop off this gear, this pulley, and then we can slide that out. All right, there's that pin. And you can see here kind of this buildup of oil and gunk here on the back side. But that does not look very centered. Okay, there's that. Take a closer look at this shaft. Oh, sure, yeah, you can feel how this has just been worn right away. Take a quick hit with it here just to see how much it's worn. All right, that's 693. And that's 673, so 20 thou of wear. Try. So this shaft has definitely seen better days. pretty good wear marks as well. Which, if that drain, this oil drain here, was plugged up, like I was saying, I'm not surprised to see this much wear. So, two-part fix would be, can we turn this shaft down at all to get rid of that worn out portion, and can we replace this bearing? And this bearing itself does look like it's in there sort of oblong. If I take a look at this and measure top to bottom here, I'm at 725. I measure this way, I'm at 690. Yeah, so this guy is definitely worn out. All right, that might be, let's see if we can get the rest of this shaft off and then determine if it's something that we want to order up a new bushing and give this guy a fix with a little bit better, tighten up that tolerance a little bit better. All right, looks to be another pin here holding on this thing here. It says number 22. And $787 feed shaft collar. Looks like that's what this is. Let's give that a little tap and see if we can extricate the collar. Got a new punch here with a point on it. See if that'll help me prevent this from walking around. There it goes, that last one. The last one freed it a bit. So on the other end of this collar is this gear, which also has a pin on it. And that pin looks like it may have seen better days. Again, fair bit of play in here as well. seem to want to release. There we go. Could feel that one go in. This one was flat, but a bit larger to get hit right down on the top of it. So now we'll hit right in the middle. Excellent. That guy just popped right out. Okay, so both of those pins are out, but yet this is still in there. Let's give it a little tap. Yeah, it moved a little bit. Oh, hey, look what just made itself loose. I'm gonna look forward to going back to the video to see when this guy started coming out. It's not often that the parts just disassemble themselves. That is very interesting. Now, unfortunately, this larger gear doesn't come out so simply because of the other components that it's wrapped around. Again, this is like a clutch pack. You can see there's gearing in there that opens and closes. That'll help with the rotation, left and right or front and back. All right, let's come back to this. And let's see if there's anything else that'll just fall off. So over on this side, we've got another drive pin and a large set screw. That pin, put that guy over here. yet. All right, so we have this shaft here through the middle. That looks to be the feed. Well, we have two shafts. We have the feed shaft, and then 777 is the reversing rod. That's not it. 780 is the rocker shaft lever. That's not it. I've got a shaft here with no number on it. Maybe it's 834. 834 reversing lever stud. No, that's not it. So I'm not sure. We've got two different shafts here. Three, including the cross member. It does look as though this fork here with the roller on it, 785, which is the plunger roll fork. This has a drive pin this way, but you can't get it out, I think, until you unwind it. And it's currently held in place by the 786, which is the clutch fork itself. So this looks like a little bit of chicken and the egg as to which comes out first. And as you can see, we're quickly delving into the realm of just take it all apart. Might as well while we're here. So I've got a drive pin here. It looks like I have a drive pin on the side as well. But even if I take that pin out, I still have this one holding to the shaft. I do believe that these adjusting screws here need to come out. So these go all the way through this clutch fork onto this roll fork. And it looks like they, depending on how deep you put them in, they work to adjust the depth. So we'll take them both out, see if that gives us some leeway. It gives us some more flexibility, but I don't think it gives us enough to push to get at the pin here from the back side. And if that pin is indeed doing anything, see how much slop is in there, because that shaft is not moving. Now it does look as though I can get at this pin. So this 780 is the rocker shaft lever. Oh yeah, that went in fairly easily. Let's see. You know, it's going in, but it doesn't, feels like maybe it's bottomed out on something, so I don't want to just keep driving it. I do feel like it needs to come up from the back side. These are the clutch block screws that I'm trying to remove here. Again, just to see if it frees up any space somehow. All right, so this is pulling the entire shaft out from this gear. We'll keep doing that carefully. Okay, here comes the shaft, and the gear is loose, and there is the gear, and then there's a bushing. It looks to be a very small roll pin. Whoa, look at that. Okay, it'll rotate right out. That's good to know. So here's that washer. Here's the gear. Looks to be in pretty good shape. Put that guy back in the back. And that gives us a little bit more viewing access, but not quite enough. What's going on back here with that roll fork? Got to get that roll fork out of there. See if we can get this clutch pack nut off. All right, this is a bit of a domed nut. Actually, they both are. Okay, so I take that back. So they are. Those nuts are the same. And don't yet see how that will free up anything. I'm hesitant to just knock this out, because there might be some roll pin or something in here that I just can't see yet. This is rotating, actually there, let's see. So this is rotating independent of that shaft, but this middle section here is definitely connected. And although there's a hole there, I don't know that it goes all the way through. No, it does not. So if there is a pin in there, I mean, it looks exactly the same on both sides. Oh, that's interesting. So this middle piece is actually sliding on the shaft axially, but when I go to rotate it, so there must be a keyway in there somewhere. Okay, so if I can move left to right, if this is not bound to it and this is not bound to it, I should be able to push that guy out, and it should go and just slide right out, and then these pieces will kind of drop down. Let's give a couple of persuasive taps here on the end. And when we do that, we use the orange hammer. I can feel it moving. It's not releasing quite yet. So let's come back here to where that collar is, and we'll give this a little try. See if this wants to move quickly with a little effort. There looks to be also a washer here. And there is, yep, okay. So I want to be really careful we don't bung those things up. This gear does look a bit for the worse for wear. It's got a lot of wear on the interior parts, more concave than it should be. Oh, not seeing any movement. this point. So the collar is moving. Got the collar moving. Not yet the shaft. Actually, I don't see. I thought I saw a washer on there, but I don't see one now. So that's interesting. I was able to push it back that way by rotating it. Let's see. I was able to push that shaft in more. Could feel it, the gear slipping out. So let's keep doing that. I'm not hitting it too hard. Try to turn the volume down so here we have that gear. Here's the collar. And let's see if this will come straight. Yes, it will. All right, so we're going to pull this guy straight through. We've got two long keyways here, and it is apart. Doesn't feel like it's worn dramatically. Just a quick fingernail test. Looks pretty good. So this shaft looks to be okay. If I'm reading that right, this is the 834, which is the reversing lever stud. Again, the diagrams I'm looking at are from a slightly different machine. So not everything might line up the same. Okay, so these are just now going to fall out. So the 815 and the 816, got a clutch gear right and a clutch gear left. I'm sure that has to deal with the rotation of those inner teeth. These are the, what are they called? The clutch blocks, 792. Yeah, the clutch block, 793. This looks to be in good shape. And these do look actually sort of identical. So I want to be careful we don't mix these guys up. I don't see a marking on them or any sort of indicator to say what side they go on. Different part numbers in that manual, but oh, you know what? Look at this quite clearly. Take a look. You've got much larger diameters going on here. So that will help make it impossible to put it back in the wrong way. But these do look like they're in good shape. So that's good to see. All right, now we've got really good access to this clutch fork. And while we're here, we might as well just keep taking it apart. You know, there's definitely some play here, but again, does it matter? In the long run, not sure, but let's just take it apart because we can. Here's that bottom half that I started pushing through. Let's continue that journey. Didn't really want to, didn't react well to that. Let's see if we can go the other way. Okay, likes going that way better. This is likely a tapered. There we go. That guy's out. Yes, that's definitely tapered. And it has a flat spot on it. Okay. Not seeing a way to get at that pin. Let's see how it wants to move this way just to get a feel for it. Nope, I think it wants to come out this way. How to get that pin out of there. I might be able to get a very thin punch in there. Okay, got a bent punch. Might just do the trick. Need something a little longer. This is loose. Clutch is loose, except it's just touching on there. This is the only pin left, and it's hard to get a hold of the back side of that guy. Is bending the tool. It's not that expensive of a tool, but it's bending nonetheless. $7.99 is a plunger roll fork dowel pin. So, and 831 and 817 are definitely studs and pins. So this does need to get pushed out. So we know we're going, say the right direction, but we know we're going the right concept. Does it look like it's moved at all? Perhaps. But hard to tell. Okay, that's moving it out. So that's forward progress. There it goes. It's free. Now let's punch out my punch. It still feels like there's something in there. The pin that came out it looks like it had a hole drilled through it, and perhaps it broke. Because I'm not seeing straight through like I would have thought. There we go. Okay. So whatever it is, I just pushed it through the other side. So now we've got freer movement of this shaft. Okay, so here comes, here's the other half of that pin, which, yeah, indeed, it was broken, snapped off inside. So that moves freely, and now the clutch itself is bound up a little bit. Let's go back the other way. See if it likes to slide out that way a little easier. And it does. A little easier. Okay. All right, we are disassembled. You know, overall these parts feel pretty good. So that was probably more for the learning experience than it was for the necessary repairs. All right, that's your clutch shaft bracket disassembled. We'll do a little cleanup and assess any repairs that we need to do and make an attack plan for how we're going to do them. Just doing a little cleanup here, and a couple of things. One is I noticed there's a number 22 stamped here on the casting. That was also on the collar, stamped a 22. Curious about that. Wonder if that indicates these were done some sort of a matched set. And then there does look like there's some sort of a area here that could have been stamped with something, but it's illegible now. But the part I wanted to point out was that there's a oil hole here that looks as though it's drilled straight through. But I can't get it to go to the other side. It does feel like it's bound up with a lot of dirt. So I've got this Allen wrench that I'm using see if I can break through that. Yep. So the other end of this is just a packed bit of grit, just packed grit, which was making it impossible for oil to get into this part of the lubrication system. So it's a good thing we checked that out. Come back in here with some brake cleaner and we can get all the way through. Brake cleaner is empty. This one feels nearing empty. Clean that out best we can, get all that compacted grit out of there. And now we should be in much better shape. Got a pipe cleaner. You can see that is pretty dirty. Clean this guy out the best that we can, and then hit it with some WD-40 just to kind of make sure that all of that garbage is out of there. All right, great. All right, I've got all the parts cleaned up. Now we're going to reassemble. And we're going to go the reverse of the way that we started. Okay, so we have let's run down through the parts. So 780, the rocker shaft lever. We have the main 786, which is the clutch fork. And then we have the 785, which is the plunger roll fork. So these guys are all installed. Now we need to line up the pins. These are all tapered pins. I had one break upon disassembly, so we're going to replace that with a roll pin because that's what I have. Let's rotate this around until, let's see, so the critical one is this 780, which is the rocker shaft lever. That has the tapered pin, and I know it actually needs to come in from the back side. So let's see about that. Getting this to line up. Okay, so there we go. Let's see if it wants to drop in. I'm going to try 180 degrees from here. Nope. All right, let's do this. Let's just double check the orientation. This really does only want to go in one way. All right, so it wants to go in with the flat. I described that. That's flat is pointing to about 430. Now let's just check. I'll come in from the bottom. Let's just see if it goes through on both sides equally. Looks like it prefers to start on this side. This is the wider side, so we're going to rotate that to the bottom. This guy back in. Line up the hole. Okay. Let's see if we can keep this orientation. Okay, there we go. This tap. All right, so our first pin is in. Next, we need to set up the roll pin. And that looks like it has just one way to go. Take this guy, tap it in. Okay. Assembly 1 is complete. All right, coming back to the clutch assembly, we have the shaft, got these couple of keyways, got this clutch gear, center clutch gear, and these side clutch gears. So we're going to slide all these pieces together and see how it looks. I noticed that there is a set screw here, and it does line up with a tapped hole here on this shaft. I'm not sure, and there's maybe what could be an old one. I'm not sure if it's used. There was nothing there when I took it apart. So I am going to try to line that up, see if it does play a part. And so that hole is just to the left of the 22. So when I go to line it up, I'll have a better idea. All right. A whole lot lot of shaking going on here. Gonna line up the keyways into the center gear. And so we're going to twist it. While we twist it while we push, and then just see if a little tap action. Now I can see that my keyways are not lined up. They should be about 90 degrees to these holes. So let's see if I can make that happen. There we go. Okay. Just generally together. Now let's take this bushing bearing surface here. All right, I'm lining up that set screw. Again, not sure of the purpose, but it does seem to line up. So I want to at least keep it that way to start. And we can always disregard it later. So you can see what I'm doing here. Trying to get these two pieces lined up. Right, there we go. Okay. Let's see what size set screw that is. If we can get one in there. All right, looks to be a 1/4 inch. there's 2 marks where that collar goes. It could be that way because it was intended to take out some of the slack. This one is ever this one here on the top looks to be just a little bit closer. Let me give that one a try. It looks like with either one there's still going to be some play there. Okay. Let's get a little bit of Loctite on that. So with that set screw in there, this one is fixed. I don't think that makes any sense. This one freewheels when you lock it this way, and this way they're both spinning again because of that set screw. So we're going to pop that guy out of there. That does not belong, as far as I can tell. You can always put it back in. So that one's freewheeling. I want to go to this side. This can freewheel. All right. Looks as though the reassembly here is complete. Give it plenty of oil. Something it didn't get too much of in a past life. So on the bed front plate, which is this guy, this is where the manual turning takes place. It's a pretty easy disassembly. The shaft that was in here and the gear was just a simple tapered pin. But what I'm noticing is very dramatic wear that I have on this, where you can see that the gear for the turning has slipped countless times and really worn down those teeth. So it still engages, but much more prone to just popping out. In addition to that, there's a piece of this high-speed steel that somebody has crafted in order to act as the lever that either retracts or engages the manual crank. So you have these two grooves here. This bit slides down, and being a bit of an eccentric, you can move it in one way so that it's further out and disengaged. You can let it drop in, and then it'll engage and spin the pulley. So, not exactly original equipment. This piece, we'll take a look at that and see if there's something we can do. Make that a little different. Or make this one so it's a little bit easier to use. Out here in the annex, see if we can pop this axle or this shaft off the wheel. There it goes. Got a nut on there to protect the threads. Now we can take that off and just push it through kind of easy. All right, it's still in there a little stubborn. We'll take it back to the garage and tap it out. There we go, separated. Looks like there is a little keyway there. So I gave this piece just a very quick turn on the lathe just to get that rough edge off. Take a little bevel, get those sharp edges off there. Got a few more parts to show you here, miscellaneous stuff that came off the machine. So starting over here, this is the shock absorber gear. Not looking to disassemble this necessarily, although I am curious as to how it works. This needs a cleanup, and there's these washers there are the go with that. This is the shock absorber cam gear, or cam. This is a obviously homemade piece that mounts in the back of the unit and actually holds this piece. So at some point that back portion either broke or otherwise, and this is what's there now. Probably going to keep that. Not sure what this piece is. We'll come back to that one. Over here we have, on the right hand side, these are parts of the cross feed. And the bed front plate. So these are parts of the stop rod plunger case. So over here on the right, this guy is the spring plunger. Pretty simple disassembly, it just comes apart. There's a bolt on the end with a hole in it, and there's a spring on the inside. This is the stop feed fork and the dog rod bracket. So we'll take that pin out, slide him out. Looks like there's a tapered pin, and then this cam. Now I do know that that cam was worn. Something was worn on the exterior of the machine because they had a piece of wood crammed in there to hold it in the lock position. Actually, I think it was crammed up on on this piece here. Something like that. This is the plunger case. Looks like that activates both pieces here. All right, let's take this off. I feel like this might be spring-loaded here in the back. Got a spring here. Not sure how this guy comes apart. Unless this wants to, if it's toothed. Or two springs or a broken spring. That's interesting. Does look like two different springs. Oh, we have another screw here. Let's see what that does. Okay, got some more movement here. And now these just push out. Wonder if based on those teeth we can adjust that. All right, now this piece is disassembled. That's it for the components really on this side. We'll clean these parts up and start reevaluating next steps.